Now, some of you may be thinking, what on earth is on this screen on a Saturday morning? This is a piece of ancient technology built back in the 16th century by the Egyptians. This piece of technology is called the Yakao. The Yakao was used to store and to create ice from water vaporization. This was an insane technology back then, and it was built for a small group of elite individuals. Then, the Egyptians passed on this technology to the Indians, and then later on, it found itself in the Iranians. But then something changed. Something changed in between the 17th century and the 18th century. Frederick Tudor, known as the Ice King, during what we know today as the Ice Age, created something called the refrigerator. Now, Frederick Tudor had the vision to democratize access and give people access to ice, which was used to store products and also food so that it can last longer. Now, if I show you a picture, let's compare. The Yakao or the refrigerator? Which do you prefer? I'm sure most of you think the fridge, right? The reason why we prefer the fridge is because we can all have a fridge in our houses. However, in order to be able to create a Yakao, you need acres and acres of land. This point here is that in order to create meaningful technology, build to democratize access. Now, there are three things that we can learn from Frederick Tudor when it comes to building products that are meaningful. Point number one, I want to speak to the innovators. I want to speak to the catalysts. I want to speak to the creatives. I want to speak to the analysts. And I want to speak to the builders in the room. Let us build with the natural resources that we see around us. There's so much that we can learn from ice, right? There's so much that ice can do to inspire us. Let us build with the problems that we see on a day-to-day basis. Now, many people think, okay, yes, I see the problem. Okay, yes, I see the natural resources around me, but I need money. Now, I'm a prime example that you don't need money to be able to build meaningful products. I've been privileged to be able to build a 7-figure tech business that's empowered thousands of lives today. I'm a prime example that if you build from the problems that you see, you will be able to impact lives and then money will come. Point number two, build with the end in mind. Build with a vision for the masses and not just for a small group of elite individuals. Build to democratize access. Build in order for as many people to access your opportunities. Now, Frederick Tudor did this really well. Whilst he was building, he was able to also protect his technology. He was able to patent his technology. It's something that the Iranians, the Egyptians, as well as the Indians failed to do. He protected his technology. Now we can trace back ice to Frederick Tudor. But we find it very difficult to trace back ice to the Indians. Point number three, build to impact global economies. I wonder if the Iranians, the Indians, and the Egyptians protected their technology, I wonder where their economies will be today. Build to address evolving human needs from a micro and macro perspective. From a micro perspective, build with fundamental needs and then solve those problems and get feedback in the process. From a macro perspective, build for cultural contexts, build for different political contexts, build for varied economies, build for different political contexts, build to impact, build to change, build to last. Ice, baby. Thank you.